Okay, everybody, this is Jacobo from Nicaragua, and he has the farm with the Moringa on it, and here he has a whole bunch of seeds that he's given me. Tell us how to plant the seeds and also how to maintain the tree.
Okay, it's best to plant it in either a clay pot or a plastic bag. Okay, you plant it about ½ an inch deep in loose earth. Try to get the best earth possible. When it gets to be about 12 inches long, high, you cut off maybe 2 or 3 inches from the top. You let it grow again to another 18 inches, you cut another 2 or 3 inches off. That's about the time you're ready to transplant it. Before transplanting it, you have to water it one day and not water it a couple of days, so it becomes the trunk will become like harder. Okay, and in case you don't have any rain, it will maintain and don't die. So let me show you what to do. This is a tree which is probably a year and a half old.
Yes.
Okay. You don't want the tree to grow too tall because it's difficult to cultivate the leaves or the pods in case you're ever going to have pads. What you do is cut like this. And this you can use for your salads or dry for tea. Okay. Any branch that's over 12 inches long, cut it in half. And then in the union, over here, there's a new one that's going to be growing. This one you cut in half. You cut this about 10 centimeters. Not this. Let me cut it here. When you could get a little table here. Okay. We don't want it to grow any taller. Okay?
So this is the tallest that you get.
That's a good size, you know. Cut it in half.
So no branch should be more than 12 inches long.
Exactly. To begin, that way you will have a new branch coming out and it become a bush. That's what you want, to be a bush, short, bushy thing with a lot of lateral branches. See? Right here. You got this thing here, you got it here, here.
So you're giving the tree a haircut.
A haircut.
Now you have how many acres of these trees?
Okay, I have 150,000 trees like this. Okay, but they're already producing seeds, and I get usually after 3 years I get close to 1,000 pods. That's almost like a world record, because normally they say that a tree should only have like 300 pods. But I'll show you right now some trees that have 1,000 pods. Okay, all these you can make tea. That should be enough for today. You know, maybe got it right here. That's fine. You know, that's.
So what's the best way to make tea with these leaves?
Okay, wash the leaves with clean water and put it on underneath a fan and some heat. You know, if you have
a dehydrator.
A dehydrator would be much better. You know, it would dehydrate in 10-12 hours, and then you remove the leaves like this, you know, like this.
Before or after you dehydrate?
Before. It's much better before, because if you leave the branches, it'll take a long time to dry. The branches have a lot of humidity, and whenever the leaf dries, more water comes in from the branches. Okay. That's what you have to do.
Okay.
It doesn't need much care. It doesn't need much water. It's just.
So what other tips with the tree here? Any other tips?
No, I would leave it like that for now. You know. whenever you cut the tree here, you have to cut a straight line. You know, you don't leave things like this because then fungus gets inside.
Okay.
What I would do here is get a sharp knife or machete and cut it right here.
Okay. Okay. And that's
See,
the
same thing here. You know, this is getting bad. You see how this is already getting. Part of it is okay, but part of it is already bad. So I would go and cut it right here, or maybe here, right here.
This is the Ophelia, right? This brand.
Oleifera.
Okay.
And that's it.
Great. And
nice.
and the seeds you have will grow this. And how long will it take if someone plants the seeds to grow something like this?
It'll take about 6 months.
Wonderful.
In 6 months,
now, what happens if the leaves are getting yellow? Does that mean it's...
it could be either a lack of water or too much water, or it may be some type of pest that's touching it, you know?
Okay.
And you gotta watch for termites. Termites love this. There's some ant cutting leaves that you should eliminate because they love this. In one night, they can eat the whole tree.
Wow.
Now, if you get those type of ants, the tree will regrow again. But if you don't kill the ants, if you don't find where the ant hole is and you don't destroy it, it will do it 3 or 4 times, and then the root will lose all its vitality, and the tree will die.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you for these tips, Mr. Moringa Man.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.